Ah! Startled by the sudden explosion of noise, Presibe let out a short scream and collapsed to the ground. Precipice. A warm, strong hand grabbed her shoulder, and the worry in Fenric's voice was clear. What happened? Are you sick? The loud noise continued as Fenric spoke. She couldn't tell if it was magic or ordinary fireworks, but it painted the sky with dazzling colors. Fenric realized why Precipe was upset, so he gently stroked her back, his voice low and calm. Unlike the ones used by the Imperial Palace, these are made of cheap materials, so they are very noisy. I see. Do you feel pain in your chest? Excuse me? Fenric's gaze fell to her chest, his expression questioning. His concentration made Presipe realize that she was unconsciously holding her left side. No, it doesn't hurt. I think it's just a habit. When I get upset or confused, it happens. But since when did you acquire this habit? Was it something that started after she got into this game? Or was it before, when she was still Juyeon? No matter how hard she tried to remember anything, nothing came to her mind. Only vague memories emerged, frustrated sighs when the game failed to start, and she collapsed on a narrow bed in a small room. Juyeon, did she have heart problems? But isn't she the same Juyeon? It wasn't really Presibe. What a joke. Now, her memories of her time as Presibe far exceed those of Juyeon. Juyeon's memories seemed like a misty forest, bleak and impenetrable. By contrast, Presipe's memories were vivid, detailed, and clear, like clear water through which everything can be seen. Fenric's crimson eyes flashed with emotion. She did not appear to be in physical pain, which was a relief. But she seemed confused, disturbed, or perhaps both. Presipe, Fenric finally spoke, his voice low and steady. If you feel any pain, you must tell me immediately. Do you understand? She nodded silently in response. Gently, Fenric helped her to her feet. He knew that the best course of action was to return to the palace and let her rest. I feel very happy today. I want to remember this day for a very long time. But she seemed so cheerful earlier, smiling cheerfully and enjoying herself. He couldn't bring himself to suggest returning, it didn't seem what Presepe wanted. For now, we should find a quiet place for you to rest, Fenric said, carefully wrapping his arm around her shoulders. He began to guide her through the crowd, carving a path through the seemingly endless crowd of people. Fenric took Presipe to the outskirts of the market, to a quiet hill where there was no one else around. On the low hill where there was not a single soul in sight, vibrant flowers bloomed generously amidst the fresh green grass. The noise faded away, replaced by the soft chirping of insects and the gentle rustle of the breeze. Please wait here a moment. With a brief remark, Fenric slowly removed his outer coat and spread it out on the grass. Thank you. As Presibe carefully sat on her coat, Fenric also sat beside her, close enough to offer her comfort. Looking down the hill, Presipe's eyes seemed calmer than they had been earlier. Even though she had been on the verge of panic moments ago, being in a quiet place seemed to ease her confusion. He must have brought me here with all that on his mind. She couldn't help but feel grateful for his concern for her. I must have surprised you greatly, Duke. I am sorry. I think I felt a little tired. I'm not really in pain. Anyway, when I was a kid, I used to come here a lot. Pardon? Back then, I was always alone. But coming here with you now makes me feel different. I want to say thank you for being here with me. It is not the Grand Duke who should thank someone, but me. Do you remember? Fenric asked. That I was once a commoner? Yes, Precipice answered calmly. This is where I used to beg for a living. On normal days, I would beg or steal. On holidays like today, I would sell flowers, just like that little girl we saw earlier. That day was no different. There was a festival like this, and I was wandering around the market. I didn't eat any food for 3 days, and I didn't even have enough money to pay off the gang in my alley. That day, I thought my life was predictable. I would end up like those bad guys who beat me and take my meager earnings every day. That was my belief until just before my 13th birthday. He must be talking about the 13th birthday he mentioned once, Presepe thought. I managed to get some coins by chance, but they were barely enough for one meal. That's a far cry from the amount I owed them. Young Fenric was faced with a decision. Maybe I'd better sneak away and fill my stomach. I'm used to getting hit anyway. I can take that a lot. But little Hannah was terrified and trembling, clutching at a bunch of wilted, unsold flowers. I'm fine, but can I let her starve too? Looking at Hannah, her face pale from malnutrition and her skeleton trembling, Fenric couldn't bring himself to let go of her. Although she was not related by blood, Hannah was someone Fenric felt obligated to protect. In the end, I chose to eat. Don't worry about anything, Hannah. I'll take care of it all. But, we didn't get a single coin today. You know what this means, right? But before I could leave the alley, I was arrested by Tom, the leader of the gang. You dirty bastard, did you think you could fool me? Tom was a tough guy, especially that day. I was beaten until I couldn't remember my name anymore. The violence only stopped when Fenric vomited blood from the continuous kicks to his stomach. Ungrateful scum, Tom spat out those words before walking away, but Fenric and Hannah stayed. Lying on the dirt floor, I looked up at the sky. Fireworks were exploding in the sky, the same ones that had led me earlier. The dazzling lights in the night sky were blurred by tears and blood, making the scene even more pitiful. I said to myself then, there is no such thing as a ruler. This place is hell. No matter how many cheap flowers a person buys to give as a gift, it may seem completely meaningless. There was no light and no hope. Maybe it's better for me to die here. But where will those who die in hell end up? In a worse, more brutal, more cruel place? Will he continue to suffer as he did? If he had been born only to endure pain, perhaps it would have been better for him never to have been born. Not knowing whether blood or tears stained his face, Fenric began to cry silently. He didn't even have the strength to scream. This was the first time he had cried since he started his life on the streets. But then, and at that very moment, hello, are you okay? A person appeared and extended his hand to me. Can I help you? A precious person.